pathetic.
Hi guys, and welcome to a Witcher 3 God build tutorial. Okay, now first off, I gotta tell you, you gotta be a high skill level, so you need to be at least doing the new game plus, because you're not gonna have enough skill points if you were just doing the regular game. Definitely trust me. So I recommend you're doing new game plus, number one. I also recommend you have at least 2 of the 4 extra slot perks available to you, because it just makes everything easier. Alright, so the build's mainly focused on combat and alchemy. So we're not gonna really be touching any science, because science is just gone downhill. If you already spend money on science, I advise you to get a potion of clearance. Just clear that shit right up. You don't need that shit at all. Alright, the first thing I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna run euphoria out of your special abilities. That euphoria is quite broken, yo. Let me just tell you that. I'll get more into details about that later, but just know that that's the best one. That's the one you're gonna be running right now. Alright, so in the build, we're just gonna start off with the combat. Alright, so we're gonna start off with Rend. Now everyone basically knows about Rend. You just hold down triangle. It just does a strong attack that breaks through enemies' defenses. It's very good for like tough guys. Resolve. This basically means that once you just get hit, you don't lose any adrenaline points anytime you're getting hit. Then we move on to Whirl. It's a very beautiful 360 attacking move. It's very key. It's a must-have. Sunder Armor. This just reduces enemies' damage resistance, so you just do more damage against enemies. Very good. Razor Focus. Razor Focus just gives you an adrenaline point when you enter the game and increases adrenaline point gain. That also helps the next one, which is Undying. Now with Undying, once your vitality reaches 0 and you have an adrenaline points, it goes back to 100 straight up. That's excellent. Although you're not gonna be dying much with this build anyway, so it's always good to have. Now science, don't touch this. I told you, if you spend any money there, clear that shit with that clearance potion, man. You don't need that. Alright, go on to alchemy. Alright, so we're gonna start off with synergy. This basically increases all the extra mutagens you add, like greater red mutagen, for instance. That gives you attack power. It increases the percentage. Endure pain. When your toxicity is at a certain level, you're just gonna have 50% more health. And with the build we're running, you're gonna have a high toxicity. Trust me. Now, killing spree increases your critical hit percentage and damage, so that's a very good one if you're aiming for high damage. And next up, we have acquired tolerance, and this is probably the most important one because it lets you run more potions. And this is a potion build. It's an alchemy build, so you can never go wrong with that. Fixative. This one allows you, well, depending on your playstyle, not your playstyle, depending on the oils you have, I would recommend you run this because it makes your blade oils never run out. And the next two also go well with Fixative. That's Hunter Instinct. It basically increases the damage against the selected oil. And we go on to the last one, Poison Blades. Also, it has a chance of poisoning the target of the selected oil. So those three go hand in hand together. So just pick whichever wants to remove out of those three. Actually, out of those last two. If you don't have enough space in the slots. Now go back to Euphoria real quick. As I said, it's the best one, man, because it increases your attack power and your sign intensity. But we'll get back to that later. So the final 3 perks, you're gonna be running strong back so you can carry more weights. That's a very key one. And metabolic control. because that also helps you pull more potions. And finally, Gourmet, because this heals you inside and outside of combat for 20 minutes. So I would not do without that one if I were you. Alright. So I'm just gonna show you my inventory and how I'm running things. Then I'll show you some clips at the end to give you an example of how the build really works. Alright, so basically this is my inventory. And for your first glance, you can see that I'm running a lot of enchantments. Basically, it's only two enchantments I'm running though. It's Severance, that's from all my swords, Severance. That basically increases the whirl and rend range. So it's I don't even know how you guys are playing without that. So that's like the best enchantment by far. The other one I'm running, that's for my armor. That's protection. That one just basically gives you a quench shield when you enter the game, when you enter combat, basically. So it's pretty good. It's pretty useful. All right, so the swords I'm running, Iris and Erendite. Iris is quite underpowered at this point, but basically, like, the build is so overpowered you can use any swords you want. Like, you just run your favorite swords and shit. All right. Now to the Decotions. We start off with Ekimara Decotion. This one, as you're doing damage to your opponents, you're getting health back. So it's always a plus. Next up, we have the Chord Decotion. That one prevents you from ever being staggered again. Bye bye stagger, you're not going to be staggered. Alright, so next, the Griffin Decotion. This basically means as you're taking damage, you're resisting more damage. So you can't go wrong with that. And finally, the Noon Rate Decotion. This reduces like the time of any knockdown, stun, or blindness. It basically makes you more agile in combat, trust me. So yeah, that's basically it for the 4 Decotions. The build is gonna allow you to run all 4 Decotions, so you don't even need to worry. As long as you follow the instructions before, you're good. Here's protection, by the way. I run this on all my armor. To be honest, there's not much good enchanted like armor, so this is probably like the best option you have, protection. Alright. So I'm gonna give you a little rundown of my stats before Euphoria kicks in. Also, I'm gonna show you clips of what I do before I enter combat, and I'm gonna give you some clips of when I'm actually in combat, so you get to see how the build fares against other monsters, other creatures, and other humans. So basically, this is my routine before I enter a fight. It's not necessarily before every fight because, after all, it is like the coaches and shit I'm running. But before I like enter a match, like I always make sure I eat something before I enter a fight because I have that gourmet, meaning I'm gonna be regenerating my health for 20 minutes inside of outside of combat. You can see the icon right there next to the other ones you get for your house. Alright, so before I start the match, L1 straight away, I pop all my decotions. As you can see, as I'm popping more decotions, the euphoria is rising. It takes it about to 210%, so you're getting a 210% bonus damage to your attack and bonus damage to your sign intensity. Now you can already see how different my stats are looking. Like you can see the increase in the DPS for my swords. You can see that sign intensity increase as well, man. That's a major key. Let me tell you like what that does. Like let's say like before I had a 50% chance of burning my opponent with Ard. I said Ard, fuck, with Igni. Yeah, it basically takes that up to 100%. It maxes it out or takes it above the threshold. So that euphoria is broken, I'm telling you. Also, one more thing I have to add. All the gameplay you're seeing here is on Death March. Like, everything is on Death March. I don't normally play on Death March, but just for the purpose of the video, all the clips are recorded on Death March just to show you how broken the build is. Alright, so that's basically it for me explaining everything. I'm just gonna leave you with clips. Just leave a like, comment if you don't understand anything, and yeah.
Never learn. Too late to surrender. Never learn.
At once!
What the hell happened here?
Show me what you got.
Sour mash. Reckon it must have been from the local distillery.
May the gods will be done! You saved my life.